everyone, welcome back to Scrape Metal and Roll, the Limited Edition podcast. This is episode 12, talking about all the action, and my goodness, there was a lot of action at Long Beach in the TCR and the USF2000. Joining me this time, three of the drivers who were in action. And first up, we have the USF2000 admin and reigning champion Smurf. It's Ture Molarin. How you doing, Ture?
Oh, no, I'm doing good. Don't have to pick me up like that, though.
Nice to have you back on the podcast. And
Thank you.
next up, he's sitting on cloud nine after a fantastic result in the USF, which can't wait to talk about with him. It's Mark Innis. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing all right, thanks. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, and finally, he's new to the league this season, but he's another one with a great result from feature race at Long Beach. Mark Brown, how are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, thanks.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, really nice to meet you virtually at last. So, yeah, let's start with you actually then, Mark. I'm going to call you MB because it's easier to differentiate between two Marks on the podcast. I should have thought about that before booking you both. Tell us about yourself then and how you found the league.
Yeah, I just kind of got into iRacing and wanted to do some ovals, and just stumbled across your oval division. Been racing with them for a little bit, and then thought I'd check out the road bit.
Excellent stuff. So some late nights for you doing the road division because they do run to USF times, don't they?
Yeah. The oval side's quite late, some of them.
Yeah, yeah. It's always been their thing. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the road races are pretty decent time.
Yes, yeah, a bit more sensible for us UK folks. And have you been racing on iRacing for very long?
About 18 months or so.
Oh wow! So okay, so quite a small career. But were you sim racing before that, or is this just a new?
Yeah, I've just been on ACC really since it came out, and just kind of got a little bit bored of the same tracks and the same cars. Thought I'd try something different.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with iRacing. Lots of good variety on the service, and yeah, some good racing online as well. And what sort of sim gear do you use?
Got a AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive, and just the Fanatec CSL load cell pedals.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so what, the newer ones or the old ones?
No, the older ones.
Oh, the same ones as I've got. Yeah. I quite like them, but I'm quite keen to upgrade at some point in the future. Looking at those BJ Sim Racing hydraulic pedals, they look rather tasty. So just need to find 700 quid down the back of the sofa.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It just gets a bit expensive.
It does a bit, yeah. And you mentioned just now you racing VR. Which headset do you use?
I've got these HTC Vive Pro.
I know the one. Yeah, okay. Isn't that the one that Jimmy used to use? Jimmy Broadbent.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's one he used. Yeah, cool.
Only got it a couple of months ago.
Did you get the sickness, or did you adapt to it quite quickly?
I did at the start. When I first got my Oculus Rift, I had kind of a little bit of motion sickness, but you just kind of ease yourself into it.
Yeah. I'm weird actually. I never got the sickness with racing, but I know a lot of people have. Yeah, Jules really struggled with it. He always recommends chewing on ginger. So if you do want to go to VR and you're struggling, start buying ginger.
I find having a fan blowing air in your face really helps.
Yes, yeah, that's a good tip. Yeah,
that's what helped me get over it.
Yeah, very good tip. Yeah, and finally, then, what about favourite cars and tracks? Because you must have a different view since you moved over from ACC and GT3 racing.
Yeah, I haven't really done much like road wise, but I do like the Arca car on the oval side.
Beast.
That's always good fun. Yeah. And the LMP3 I've been driving the last couple of weeks has been really good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? I imagine Long Beach must rank up there with one of your favourite tracks now.
Well, it's quite tricky.
It is indeed, yeah. But rewarding, I think is the best way to put it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of walls, but there's also a lot of space on quite a few of the corners. So.
Yeah, that's true. Tor, let's come on to yourself then, man. How have you been the last few weeks? Busy boy with college and work and stuff?
Oh yeah, been busy. Looking at a job, seeing what I can get, and doing all the practice for all the special events coming up now.
Fantastic. Yeah, so because you did Daytona, didn't you? How did you
We
get
did
on?
Daytona, yeah. We finished second
Congrats.
on the lead lap, so good after 24 hours. We're happy. And then there is Bathurst this weekend.
Which you won last year, didn't you? With
We
Dom
did
Molarin?
win that last year. Fluke of a century, but we did win.
So this will be an interesting. What's an acceptable finish for you this year, bearing in mind that you won the last time? I mean, but you presumably can't just say it's win or bust.
No, the goal is always to finish without an incident. Given it's Bathurst, it's really hard. But it also means a good finish is kind of given.
Yeah.
But a top 5 is always a great position.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds like an excellent some excellent result to achieve for. So yeah, best of luck with that. And is it Dom and Marin you're both racing with again?
No, Marin said he won't do it. He's aiming for Sebring, and I think Dom is gonna try and solo it.
Wow.
So it's some of the people with the Daytona with.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. New team and yeah, new result. Well, best of luck with that. Yeah. Dom obviously trying to make himself super popular at home if he's going to solo 12 out. So. Yeah. Mark, let's come on to you then, man. First of all, massive congratulations on that all-important feature race win. I'm going to...
Thank you.
You know, we normally talk about the individual rounds later on, but let's just headline with that news. And am I right in thinking that's your first overall victory in the LOA?
It is indeed, yeah. So I've had a few sort of Club 1500 wins back when I was a Club 1500 driver, a couple of sort of silly season wins and things like that. But yeah, this was the first outright overall victory. So yeah, definitely still on cloud 9.
Ah, brilliant stuff. But you said to me, because I did say to you, why are you not drunk yet? And you said you had to work in the morning.
Yeah, so unfortunately I work a 9 to 5, so racing on a Sunday night means that I can't go too crazy.
Yeah. Although I have been known to enjoy a beer or two if I've had a good result, but then I always have a beer or two if I had a dreadful one. And a totally middle of the road result to go to bed sober, I think. Or doing dry January, of course. But yeah, and speaking of dry, you could go and celebrate at your amazing bar, which is the... Why don't you tell us about your bar as well? Because it's your side hustle, I think it is, but it's a really cool project.
Yeah, thanks. So so it's called Yada. It's a completely alcohol-free bar. So we offer everything that you can find in a normal bar, but alcohol-free. So alcohol-free beers, ciders, wines, cocktails, all that sort of thing, all alcohol-free. And it's completely not-for-profit venture. So any money that we raise either goes back into running the bar or is used to support local charities and businesses and things like that.
Oh, it's a really cool venture. Yeah, absolutely. Sterling work there. And perhaps you can plug the socials and tell people where they can find it. Because we have got a few LOA drivers up around your area. So, yeah, where is Yada?
Yeah, so we're at Yada Collective on Instagram, all those sorts of social media things. We're physically located in Derby. So we're right in the city centre. So, yeah, if you're around our neck of the woods, then yeah, come on in.
Yeah, that sounds like definitely something that people should be doing, and no excuses for driving there and having a drink, and then you can drive home because you're not
Exactly.
drunk. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about Long Beach then, and we'll start with TCR as it always comes first in the evening. And well, how was it from your side, Tor? Let's start with you.
I was leading the championship going into this one, so the pressure was high. Race 1 was relatively clean. I qualified well, drove a clean race, and then tried a move on Dom. That one maybe shouldn't have tried. And so I finished third in then, behind Alex and David, my two championship rivals. And then race 2, I got instant karma and held the clutch in my Audi.
You blew the clutch. I didn't think you could do that.
No, it doesn't have a clutch, so holding the clutch down didn't work.
Oh, so do you jump start?
I did. So I had to do the drive-through early on, and from that it was a really lonely race. People didn't really do any mistakes in the TCRs.
Which was very surprising actually. I mean, Dom's just posted in Discord that there were no reports from the race at all, which is incredible, really, considering big boxy cars on a little street track.
I don't think it could get side by side enough. Like, just had to do it in a single line. So.
Oh, I disagree, because I had a ding dong battle with John Cook.
That's it, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of weird because I felt like I was quicker. Sort of turn 5, the left-hander before the double right. I felt quicker through there, and I was quicker sort of through most of the lap. But I got past him twice, but then he just outbraked me into T1 and 2 and got past again. So it was really frustrating because I felt like I could get ahead, and it did mean that we then opened the door to Kynan Jones, who came through, and Jules passed me as well. So we ended up having a scrap between us and James Renwick rather than with John, who sort of scampered up the road from me and escaped a bit towards the end, which was frustrating because I really thought I should have been able to pass him and get after Ben Chalcroft. Although I think I would have struggled to beat Ben because he was pretty rapid apart from his single mistake. But yeah, it does show you were able to pass, but it would it kind of
it was really hard.
Yeah, it was tricky. So, but yeah, just surprising to see the first ever LOA TCR race with 0 reported incidents is quite a feat with 19 drivers in it as well. So, as you say though, David Ward picking up the win from pole and the fastest lap once again. I believe he did the same thing at Hockenheim, didn't he? Just run and hit at the front in race 1.
I believe so. Yeah, he's super rapid. Had he been here from the start, he would have won the championship already.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah, Alex Murphy in second, Ture Molarin in third. Then we had Greening making his return and Messenger in sixth as well, with Dom in between the two. Nice to see the Riskies back on the grid, even though Messenger absolutely hates TCR. But yeah, and then we got Maxwell, Chalcroft, John and myself, Kynan, James Renwick, Gavin Kelly, as I mentioned, Damon Mitchell, who had a bit of an incident with me and someone I think he's just mentioned. Russell had some steering wheel issues. Keith, Chris Forrester, and then Stephen James, the two Peppers at the back, unfortunately. And then let's just take a quick look. Ben, Mark, what's your Mark, both of you actually. What are your thoughts on TCR? Are you looking to do it next season when we move to our new format with the Sprint Championship? I'll start with you, Mark Brown, if you want.
I'm thinking of it. I haven't currently got the car, so I'm not sure yet. But it does look quite fun. I've watched a few of the races on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So I might invest in one and have a go.
I've got to say, I mean, it is a different way of driving, but I heartily recommend it. And we've got some real specialists in the league, such as David Ward, such as Damon Mitchell, and John Cook. Loads of drivers in the league though who are very fast with TCR, but they're all really keen to help people and offer lots of advice. So I really do recommend sort of jumping in and just asking for help if you get stuck, because the guys are really keen on helping people get up to speed because they just want more and more people to battle with. So yeah, thoroughly recommend.
We used to have a lot of fun when we used to do touring cars in race room.
Yeah.
They were always close races, a lot of door-to-door battling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we like door-to-door battling. We just don't like ramming. It got a bit silly in season 1 where everyone was just using the excuse of its touring car to just like do punt to pass and stuff. It got a little bit crazy. So this season's been a lot more respectful actually, and although there are incidents, I think the drivers are all driving brilliantly really. So yeah, it's a good season so far. Mark Innis, how about you? You going to come to touring car?
Potentially. So I remember, in fact, last time I was on the podcast, episode 6 or 7, I think it was. I remember chatting with Charlie Langridge about this, because obviously he's a big fan of the front-wheel drive touring cars, and I remember saying that I absolutely hate the front-wheel drive cars. I don't own any of them, but I've test-driven a few, and I can never get past the first lap, because I always expect a lot more rotation. They just understeer, and yeah, horrible. But then I was chatting to my co-commentator, my teammate, and all-around good guy, Steve Pepper. And he was saying, they're awful on the first lap, just give it a few laps, sort of take it easy, wait for the tyres to grip up and sort of heat up a bit, and then they get a lot better. So yeah, I think next downtime I'm going to hop on, test drive, give them a try, see if I can get the hang of them. And if I can, then yeah, I'll be getting one and I'll see you on the grid.
Brilliant stuff, yeah. And I mean, the big recommendation is to dial the brake balance right back, because it's set very far forward when you start, but realistically you should dial it back to about 42%, and that makes it gives it a bit more of a loose feel at the back, which really helps. And then as it warms up, it goes away. That you lose a bit more of that oversteer feel, but it just means the car performs for the whole race. If you have the brake balance forward, I always found that the front tyres were just shot and overheating, and then it was just understeer city for the rest of the race, and you go charging through the field and then come backwards very rapidly. So I think you will enjoy it if you're patient with it. It's a patient. You drive differently. It's not pants on fire. It's a very patient kind of drive, but it does make it really exciting. And I
will certainly give it a go.
Good man. Yeah. It's only taken you 12 episodes of Persuasion. Yeah. So, taking a look at the feature race results, it's Dom Parker who picked up the win. So, congratulations to Dom. Nice to see him back on the top step. Stephen Maxwell having a great drive to P2. Alex Murphy in 3rd. David Ward in 4th. Then we had Greening, Russell Brighton. I see him up there. My teammate, James Renwick, Kynan Jones, Chris Forrester, Steve Pepper, and then Tor, down in 11th. So fighting back, mate, after a difficult race with the drive-through and stuff. So you did all right there. Damon Mitchell, Ben Chalcraft, myself and Keith Schooling rounding out the points. So congratulations to Keith on a point. So yeah, an interesting round. We got one more race to go, obviously, at Charlotte Roval, which has been confirmed to be a night race. So that's going to be really fun. Be good to see the TCRs with the lights on, and a headache for the commentators. So taking a look at the championship, and it's Alex Murphy who's gone on top of the standings. Then just ahead of yourself, then Tor. What do you think is going to happen at Charlotte, and do you think you can pick up a win?
I hope so. TCRs are really weird. Like the cars matter so much depending on the track, and I think that's the only reason I'm even still in it. The fact that I'm driving arguably the better car. But without incidents for David and Alex, it's going to be really hard for me to get a double that I think I need to claim the championship. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one.
I mean, do you need the double? Because it's 15 points between you and Alex. I don't know what the drop scores are. Oh, yeah. I haven't got the drops on that one. But and then David's on 297. So he's going to really struggle to get the championship, considering he doesn't have any drop scores. He's just got 2 drop scores of 0, hasn't he? So
yeah, I think for David to win, he needs to win both of them. But for me to win, I need to beat Alex by quite a bit of points because I would be dropping more, I believe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think David is probably out of it and battling for second, and it's dependent, like you say, on him winning both races, but he also probably needs you both to not score.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Could
pretty
be
much a heads up battle, yeah, but he's going to be taking points off the pair of you if he has another Heat
sure.
1. Yeah, that's going to be fascinating to watch. Well, best of luck, mate. And
thank you.
I
hope it goes away.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad because I don't want to. I don't have any favourites and stuff. You're all fantastic, nice guys. So yeah, may the best man win on the day. So be good to see how it happens. Let's though move on from TCR and talk about some my preferred sort of driving, I must admit, which is the single seaters and the USF2000. Our last USF championship for a while then before it goes on hiatus next season. But yeah, Mark Brown, let's talk to you first then, because you did really well at the last oval round as well. So perhaps just how did you find Gateway, and then we'll talk about Long Beach.
Yeah, Gateway was quite fun. Got taken out on the first lap or so on the first race, and then just had to kind of lucky dog my way back onto the lead lap. And then after the chaos at the finish, I think I dropped a few positions because I ended up getting a penalty for overtaking on the inside. I think I dropped from about 6th to 9th place.
It's a little rookie mistake then, but not too bad.
Well, there was a big pile up before we even got to the start line, and I just had to dodge everybody. And then, of course, it gave me the penalty. So
yeah. Oh, that was the incident with Rich and Alex, I believe.
yeah, massive pile up before we even got to the start line.
Yeah, that was the one.
And then everything finished under caution. The pits weren't open, so I couldn't even serve the penalty. But yeah, but the second race was good fun. There was a good group of us up the front, all swapping positions.
Where did you finish in the end?
I think it was 4th.
Nice, good.
I think I just missed out on the podium.
Yeah, good haul of points though.
Yeah.
And then, well, let's talk about Long Beach then, and a P6 in Heat 1, which is a pretty awesome result.
Yeah, again, got pretty lucky. I think I started 8th, and then by the end of the first lap, I was up to 5th, just from people spinning out or hitting a wall. And then it's just a pretty quiet race until Alex caught me up and flew past me like I was standing still.
He does that.
Yeah, he was absolutely rapid around there.
Yeah, but like you say, you know, starting 8th and going forwards 2 places, that's a really, really nice result. Yeah. And I see two cars behind you, Mr. Innis, going up from P14 on the grid. So, Mark, what was your race like?
Quite chaotic, to be honest. So I was involved in an incident before we even got to the green flag. Typical Long Beach hairpin dramas.
Yes, I was just behind you at that.
Yeah, and I think it was just typical case of all the cars bunching up. I think there was a collision further ahead, sort of a couple of cars ahead, which obviously I didn't realise until I was going around the corner and there was a stationary car in front of me. So yeah, picked up a little bit of damage, and I just never managed to settle into a proper rhythm in race 1. I think I felt pretty slow, but I was, just thankful to keep it out of the walls, to be honest. And so yeah, I managed to make up about 6 places or so just from keeping it out of the wall when everyone else couldn't. And yeah, finished in 8th place, crucially reverse grid pole, which, not gonna lie, absolutely terrified me.
Yeah. No, it's a brilliant drive, mate. Really, really well done. Yeah. And as you say, keeping it out of the walls is pretty crucial around Long Beach, because you can make one small mistake and it rips a wheel off the car and game over. And as I mentioned earlier, right, with the moving my pedals, I just never got comfortable around there, because I looked and my personal best's like a 119, and I couldn't get anywhere near that kind of pace on Sunday. Just didn't seem to work for me. So definitely taking that bloody pedal off, moving it back to how it was. So yeah. And Tor, coming to yourself then, mate. Starting second and picking up the win with the fastest lap. So were you under pressure?
I had a great battle with Holritridge for the first race. He was really hunting me down. I don't think we were more than a second apart for a big part of that. But I also got really lucky with Alex having to serve a penalty this race, start from pit lane.
Yes.
So that pretty much handed me at least a top 2, Oliver being so close. And crucial points in the championship as well.
Yeah, I mean this felt vintage Ture Molarin to me. I remember last season you got the double at Long Beach. Season 1 when we last raced the USF here, and you were just dominant, weren't you? But perhaps the grid wasn't quite so competitive, considering I came home in P2 in one of those. So it's yeah, the grid is always been ever stronger every season of USF. But
it has for sure.
Yeah, but you were fantastic in that race, so congrats.
I think it's just one of those tracks where being on the edge at all times is really beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to use every little piece and not be afraid to put it in the wall. Because as soon as you are afraid to put it in the wall, you will crash.
Yeah. But we seem to be in a real purple patch of tracks that Ture Molarin really loves, which is how we've been describing it in commentary. Because we've had Sebring, we've had Long Beach, and Road Atlanta. All 3 of those just seem to be tracks that you're amazing at.
And then we go to Jerez, and we go to the other French one,
Magny-Cours,
and I hate them. Worst tracks ever. So yeah,
we can't have all of them suited.
No,
we do our best.
Apparently not.
Yeah, which is your favourite track then? Has it changed?
Oh, I don't know. It does change depending on how well I do at races. I really like endurance tracks, mostly because that is the racing style I enjoy the most.
Yep.
It's so different. So Daytona, Bathurst, and Sebring, where you're kind of more fighting yourself than the other people around you.
Okay, yeah, because Jules and I were convinced that Road Atlanta was up there in your top 3. So
it is great. It is great after that one race we had.
Yeah.
A few seasons back in F3. So it's also really fun.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Let's then have a look at the feature race, and that all important. Mark Innis were first, obviously. Take us through it from your side, and then we'll go to the other side of the grid and hear about it from Mark Brown's side.
Yeah, so to be honest, I knew I'd got the reverse grid pole, but I wasn't expecting the win in the slightest. I've had a bit of a dry spell recently, a really rough patch with iRacing, in that pole positions have been, I can get those occasionally, but I've not been able to keep the lead at all, ever, basically. So yeah, my last win in either officials or in league races was over a year ago. And I've just gone through a patch where every time I get pole position, or any time I ever get to the front, within a lap, I'll have spun on my own or hit the wall, completely unforced errors. And so, I lined up on the grid. I had both the anti-Wizards cars, Alex and Stephen, both sort of quite close. I think they were second and third or second and fourth or something along those lines. And so, I was sat on the grid thinking, you know what, I'm not going to get this win. Not a hope in hell. Those guys will come past me really easily. But, if I keep it out of the wall and sort of try and get some good laps together, I might have a shot at a podium. If not, sort of P4, P5 would be brilliant. And then, I got an absolutely epic launch at the start. And I knew that I'd got a good launch, and so I just didn't look in the mirrors. I thought, right, I'm just going to take the first lap steady, just make sure I'll get my braking points right, get all the apexes and exits, all that sort of thing. And then sort of coming towards the end of the first lap, I looked in my mirrors, looked in the relative. I was like, hang on, what's happened here? And yeah, I had the other Mark MD about 2 seconds behind me, and then no one for ages. So yeah, I then sort of had a look at the replay after the race to find out what happened. But apparently, yeah, there was a bit of carnage, which I was, not gonna lie, quite thankful about. And then, yeah, it was just a case of taking it lap by lap and thinking, right, what am I going to do to mess this up? And sort of constantly expecting a mistake that in the end just never came. And yeah, needless to say, it was pretty damn emotional when I crossed the line.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, man. Yeah, and as you mentioned, there was the mother of all pile-ups out of turn 8. And, I mean, I went from 18th to 8th in that lap. No, 7th, I think it was. It was ridiculous. Just absolutely mental. So, have fun when you commentate on that one. Yeah. And Mark Brown then, starting third. How was your race?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I started third, and then I think it was Maxwell spun coming out of turn 2, and then I think it was about turn 5. I think it was Alex made a little mistake, and I got alongside him, and then we were side by side round 7, and then going into turn 8, we were side by side, and then all of a sudden 2 more cars decided to make it 4 wide through the corner, which obviously didn't work. And luckily, I was the one that made it out unscathed, and everybody else just blocked the track.
Yeah.
By one second, I'm side by side with Alex, and then all of a sudden, it's just everybody disappeared. And looked in the mirror and just saw this massive pile up behind me.
Amazing.
And then the rest of the race was just trying to catch the other Mark and see if I could pressure him into a mistake. I was never going to be able to get past him. He was just a bit too quick for that, but I was hoping he might just make a mistake and I could slip past, but he never did.
Yeah. Well, you finished only a second behind. And actually, I wanted to ask both of you, because I noticed 6X for Mark Innis, and then and 4X for yourself, Mark. Were they wall contacts, do you think?
I think the 4X was a bit of contact. I think one of the cars, when we went 4 wide, one of them just clipped my rear wheel.
Oh, okay. So you just picked it up holding the one.
Yeah, I think that was where the 4X came from.
Oh, well done surviving that one then. Yeah, because that would have been awful to get a broken wheel and just when it's not your fault.
Yeah, I think it was just the slightest touch from somebody's front wing.
Yes, yeah. So, Mark Innis, were you hitting walls then to get your 6X?
I think I must have done, to be honest. I certainly don't remember hitting anything, but yeah, to be honest, I was quite surprised that I got 6X.
Are they wheel piled in on you at the end? Just gave you some love bumps at the end to celebrate.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I'm not sure whether it was that sort of the celebrations at the end or whether it was wall banging, but yeah, certainly it was a relatively clean race from me. Certainly no car contacts. I think there were a couple of moments when I got a little bit too close to a wall, where I was just trying to manage the gap to the other Mark MB behind me, because I probably had another couple of tenths in me, but I didn't want to push harder than I needed to, because I knew that, yeah, as long as I could keep the gap at sort of a second or so, keep him sort of just in that range where he's just starting to get slipstream, but not close enough to have a proper run, that, you know, it should be relatively plain sailing. So yeah, it was just whenever we closed in the gap a bit, I'd try and sort of push a little bit harder, and yeah, got a little bit too close to the wall on occasions.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes are very costly around there, as we mentioned before. I got a meatball because I scraped the wall and bent my car, and I had to go in for a pit stop to avoid getting a DQ, which was annoying because I think I was 7th at the time, and it dropped me down to P9 at the end. So, as you say, you're sensible to sort of like try and keep away from the walls, whereas Ture obviously just he has completely opposite philosophy, as he was saying earlier. Just go hell for leather. Ture, finishing 5th, fastest lap of the race. Were you involved in the big one, or did you escape?
I thought I made it through, but I think last moment I got a most minuscule tap on my left rear tire. I don't think at the time I felt it in the wheel. The car felt fine to drive, but I got a meatball.
Oh, okay. So you had to visit.
Really
as well.
unfortunate. So I had to visit the pit lane. Came out quite far behind. I think I made a mistake as I was kind of annoyed having to visit the pit lane. No fun. But I got my head down and managed to get up to 5th with the last lap overtake. So
nice.
Overall, I'm happy.
Yeah, really, really good result. And as I say, P5 and Dom Park picking up podium behind the 2 marks. So congratulations again to Dom. He had a great night at Long Beach. He obviously likes the track. Rich Meester's a great result in P4, and that'll be the Club 1500 win. Looking further down, Pavel Kuzemarek, nice result for him in P6. Stephen Greening making his return in P7. He came past me. He was very fast. Philip Miles, then myself and Michael Messenger riding out top 10. Ben Chalcraft, he's another one to talk about because he's down in 11th place in that race. But taking a look at the championship standings, he's obviously in 3rd place. So, and I have praised him all season. I will again. He's having a tremendous championship, especially in USF2000. Taking a look at that championship then, and I feel like this is a bit deja vu. Ture, how's your battle with Alex?
It's great. I didn't think it was even on until the oval round. He has had 2 awful rounds. I have had I think my 2 best rounds of the season. And the fact that I'm even close is really impressive.
I've no idea how you've done it, actually, because it always looked like you were down and out all season, and yet here you are currently leading the way, and it's very close between you, only sort of 25 points again, so it's ridiculous, really. So
no, I was thinking after the first few rounds that, well, at least I'm going to have a fun season, just do my own thing, not needing to, not any pressure at all. I'll just have a fun last season, but I lost, and didn't really work out.
Yeah. I bet you'll be glad to retire this car and not have to stress about another championship after this one. Well, once again, yeah, best of luck to you and to Alex in the championship, and to Ben in 3rd, because he has an outside chance if both of you have massive power cuts and he gets a double. So good luck. So actually, Mark Brown, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, we have change of cars and things coming up next season. So Prime is moving to the IndyCar and Endurance, who I think is the LMDH and the GT3s. It seems to be. So, what have you driven the IndyCar before?
Yeah, I've been doing the IndyCar series on the Oval Division.
Excellent. Yep. And have you driven it on the road much?
A little bit. The first race of the season was Road America, which I managed to pick up 2nd place.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, okay. So you could be a prospect then.
Well, I was 34 seconds behind Alex, so
yeah, but
there's probably going to be a lot of people between me and Alex in these races.
Well, we have to see what Alex is up to, because I think he's looking to take his foot off the gas a little bit after this season, but things might change. You might want to jump back in again. We'll wait and see. So, but yeah, hopefully you're looking forward to that and to a bit of you could do a bit of GT3 again. Yeah, looking forward to that. I prefer the longer races. Yes, I think it'll be very nice to have the longer races again, and then just break it up with the little short sprint race format with the TCR.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the next season. Anyway, then that's going to wrap up episode 12. One round to go then in USF and TCR at Charlotte Roval. So best of luck to all the drivers, and especially to you guys. I want to say a massive thank you to Mark Innis, to Mark Brown, and to Ture Molarin for being on the show. And it's time to say goodbye, guys. So goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
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 Cheers. See you next time.